Okay. And action.
Hi, my name is Julia. I teach antenatal classes and workshops around Midlothian. So I teach antenatal weekly classes. I teach workshops about birth, about infant feeding, about the whole parenting, new baby kind of side of things as well. And then I also teach postnatal groups for mums and babies. And one of the things I really wanted to share with you guys was my top 5 ways of using an exercise ball during pregnancy, and you can also use these tips during labour as well. If you're anything like me, or most of the mums I meet, you have been told to go and get yourself an exercise ball or a birth ball, and you've either left it in the box in a corner of the room, or you've inflated it and then left it in the corner of the room, and nobody's touched it since. So the first thing you actually have to do is start using it. But before you start using it, you do just need to make sure you're using it correctly. So before I do my top 5 tips, I'm just going to talk you through how to make sure that you're using an exercise ball properly during pregnancy. So you need to make sure that you've got the right size, first of all. The average size for an average woman is about 65-68 centimetre ball. There's normally a guide on the box, or if you're buying it on Amazon, it'll be in the description about, depending on your height, what size of ball you should be getting. So pay attention to that. Once you've inflated it, you want to make sure that your hips and your knees are at right angles, so your legs are completely straight while your feet are flat on the floor. And you want to make sure that your ankles are at right angles too. So a nice sort of step up the way, everything being nice and flat. It's a good little tip to get some grippy socks. My feet are probably going to slide all over the place here because I've got no grip on my shoes and a slidey floor. If you're at home and you've got a carpet, that's fine, but if you're going to take this into hospital, they don't have carpets, so think ahead, get yourself a pair of grippy socks. You want to make sure that you've got a nice posture as well when you are on the ball. If your ball is too high, then you're going to end up kind of up like this, and you're not going to be able to do all the movements properly. If your ball is too low, you're going to end up like this, and you're going to have a curved back, and that's not nice either. So you want to make sure you're on your sit bones, not on your butt cheeks, and you're nice and straight, and with those sort of that step shape. Last thing is, if you do have any kind of back pain, which lots and lots of people do during pregnancy, you can inflate it just a little bit higher than you would normally, just to take a wee bit of pressure off your lower back. So you've got your ball, you've actually inflated it, you're sitting on it properly. What do you do with it? The first thing, it's not one of my top 5, it's just the first thing you got to do, is use it. Use it all the time. So if you're furloughed and you're working at home just now, get rid of the desk chair, use your exercise ball. When you are sitting watching a movie at night, get rid of the sofa. Well, don't get rid of the sofa, but sit on your birth ball. If you are still in the office, you can get rid of your desk chair in the office, and you can bring in a spare exercise ball and use that. I promise it will do you a world of good. So you're using it all the time. What are the top 5 ways of using it? So the first one you're going to do is quite simply just little bounces. Now, you're not going for great big ups and downs, and in fact, while we're on this, make sure the first couple of times that you do use it, you've got a person or something nearby to grab onto or to help you lower yourself onto it, so that you're not going to tip over and donk your head on the floor. So we're going to do just little bounces, tiny little bounces, and you'll actually find this kind of happens quite naturally when you're on an exercise ball anyway. It's quite hard not to sit on an exercise ball and bounce. So you're going to do this, you're going to keep it really nice and gentle, you're going to make sure that your posture is right the whole time. And this is just really good for opening up the pelvis and the hips, which all happens during labour, so you're just encouraging that anyway, and creating space for baby to get into a nice position. Next thing you're going to do are some cat cows. So you might know cat cows from yoga. You can do a sort of exercise ball pregnancy version of a cat cow. So the cat, which is normally when you're on all fours, you're arching your back up like an angry cat, so your back's getting a really nice curve to it. You're going to do that on the ball, so you're just going to lean over as far as you can, give your back a nice stretch, let your head hang down, and then you're going to come all the way up, stretch your back out the other way, draw a line up with your nose, and then you're just going to keep repeating that. So you're going to bend all the way over and come all the way back up again, and you can do that as many times as you feel it works for you, and as long as it feels comfortable for you. So we've done our bounces, we've done our cat cows. Next thing we're going to do is rotations. You've probably heard people talking about doing rotations on a birthing ball. So there's lots of different ways you can do rotations. Just a bog standard rotation, round and round. Doesn't matter which side you pick, but make sure that once you've done one side, one direction for a wee while, you're going to stop and you're going to go around the other way. That is quite important because you want to have that balance. This is really good for getting baby to put even pressure on the cervix, which is really good for helping the cervix to dilate in pregnancy. In labor. So we're going to do just bog standard rotations, or you can choose one or the other, or you can do both. You can do figure of eights as well. So figure of eights, you can do them forwards and backwards. So if you imagine drawing a figure of 8 in front of you, going away, forwards, back to the middle, backwards, back to the middle, forwards. Or you can do them sideways. So you're taking your figure of 8 off to one side, back to the middle, off to the other side, and back to the middle. So again, it's all to do with creating space. The more space you create for baby, whether it's in pregnancy or in labor, the more chance you have of baby getting into a favorable position, which is their ideal position for being born. So you want to encourage that as much as you can by creating space, by using gravity to push baby down. So anything where we're upright is using gravity to push baby down, as opposed to lying on your back on a sofa and slouching back the way. And it's also just opening up that pelvis and those hips. Again, all really, really important. And number 5 is lunges. So you're going to take one leg out to the side and you're just going to lunge from one side to the other side. It's a lot easier when you don't have shoes on. You can kind of slip your feet side to side. And you can just do it like that, or you can stay over on one side a wee bit, feel the muscles sort of working here, and then slip over to the other side and do the same there. So those are my top 5 ways of using an exercise ball during pregnancy and also during labor. So get your ball inflated if it's not already. Make sure it's at the right size for you. Get rid of all the other chairs that you've been using and get on your exercise ball. It will do you a world of good. If you want to find more tips, you can find me on Instagram, on Facebook. The handle is @Daisy Foundation Julia. Let me know how you get on with your ball. Thank you.